Let's get it. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral gang, let's get it. It is Uncle Makara back at it again with another video. Today we're talking all about psychic powers and how we can use our own psychic powers, or claircognizance, or clairvoyance, or clairgustiance, okay? Any of these different skill sets or senses in order to tap into our financial abundance, okay? I think this is really key and important for all of us to understand. And I think that once we start to break this topic down, we will try to get a much clearer and broader understanding of how we can use our own special gifts or siddhis or mystical powers to gain more abundance, more financial freedom in our lives, okay? So, having said that, make sure you read the disclaimer. This is not for kids, okay? Let's get started. I'm here in my mad scientist, okay, lab, because we're all a living lab of our own experiments, and we are peak performance shamans, okay? So that means that on this channel, we're always really refining our edges. We are working on our own character development. We're always growing and glowing into new different archetypes and auras, okay? It's just a part of living, okay? It's become a lifestyle now. So, without further ado, let's get started with today's topic, okay? Psychic powers for abundance. And I'm already sensing, as I'm tapping into the energy of the planet, that the planet is pissed, okay? The planet is pissed about something. There's a lot of strange weather, a lot of strange things emerging on the planet. And you can notice people's energies, especially here in Kolkata, right after this medical doctor got raped here. There's protests, there's rioting. Today, all doctors took a day off and so forth. So there's a lot of pandemonium, okay, pandemonium, okay? And I'm starting to notice the energy that I'm picking up, okay? And it's an energy of old systems, old structures, ways that things have been done doesn't work anymore. And that's why newer ways, more aligned ways and pathways are being generated now. Okay. Now, we can't always see our spiritual powers as a waste of time. I think this is where we have to start, because time is associated with our pain management, right? And so if you are constantly focusing on, I don't have enough time to do this, I don't have enough time to make money, I need more time in order for this project to work, you were stuck in the paradigm of impatience. And what impatience does is it's anti-earth magic, right? So therefore, you're not giving yourself the grounding and the actual financial support that you need in order to make you propel in this thing, right? Make it greater, make greater chances, greater acceleration, and so forth, okay? Let me just share this with the tribe. All right. Let's get it. Hopefully we catch some of you guys live on this so you can ask questions and so forth. And all right, sweet. The great shortage, okay? A lot of people talk about that. It's going to cause global economic chaos. Revelation of the method. What was now a conspiracy is now being publicized more often. And, you know, there's random sudden deaths, okay? It's very interesting, man, this stuff. All right, but you can get sucked into a world of probabilities and stuff like this too. Yo, Ryan G, what's good? So let's get started. Okay, good. Now we have the power to kick people out who are annoying. Awesome. So now, if you know what your powers are already, and you go on to develop your powers using either our path working or something else, then you're actually tapping into your psychic gifts and powers, right? What if you find any of the research around psychic mediums and way showers and different, light workers and people who do tarot cards and crystal balls and all of these people, right, who are more tapped in, they all knew that they had a power and they doubled down on it. They all knew that they were going to develop some aspect of themselves and they chose to follow that path, right? It's not the easy path, but it is a path that is going to bring you the greatest self-actualization. Why? Because you're going to get met and tested on many different things, okay? And, you know, if you've ever heard of Aladdin's wish-granting lamp, right? It's almost like we have to rub our minds, okay? As weird as that sounds, as weird of a sexual innuendo as that sounds, right? You have to rub your mind in order for the magic or of the wish-granting lamp to shoot the genies out, right? And have this process actually work. So you have to understand, does God really understand that, you know, poverty is some kind of a virtue? Does God want people to become poor? Okay. A lot of people think so. A lot of people think so. Okay. I just don't believe that. Okay. Because I've met far too many people who are wealthy and also highly intelligent, calibrated. Everybody going to get tested. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's like you're working with the most mystical, magical powers available to you, right? Of course, you're going to get tested with this thing, but it's okay because it's like, I'm ready. I've been prepping for this my entire life as a shaman. You know, that's the way we have to think about this. And, you know, a gift, if you have a psychic gift, it needs to be shared with others, right? You're not just using it to feather your own nest, though you are protecting your own family and so forth, and you're all entitled to every cent that you have earned. Okay. You all have a right to be rich. I think we have to, first of all, stop associating money with distrust, with a lack of honesty, with evil, with using terms like filthy rich. Okay. Why do we use the term filthy rich instead of like cleanly rich, right? Purely rich. So if you think you're being oh so virtuous and virtue signaling that you're poor, okay, you have to see what your higher self is actually trying to tell you. A lot of spiritual people struggle with this thing, okay? But it starts with the voice in the head that tells you can't afford it, that you're not, you know, you've had that testimony, right? Testing testimony. That's right, Mathis. So if you keep saying to yourself, oh, you know, man, I feel like I have a sore throat coming up. It feels really bad. And I think you're going to have a sore throat tomorrow, bro. Why? Because you just spoke it into existence. Okay. You just now doubled down on your own beliefs, on a hunch, on a random hunch, right? A random spidey sense. And you spoke it into your existence. So now the likelihood or the chance, this is all a chance-based universe, right? Is going to work. By the way, guys, I got this noggin hot sauce. It's fire, yo. Fire, made with Bhut Jolokia. So with the naga peppers as well as the the ghost peppers. Okay. Amazing. Okay. I'm crazy like that, but it is what it is. Okay. I'm not Claire gustatory, so I don't have to worry about burning my taste buds. Okay. Doesn't matter for me. I'll eat like 4 or 5 chilies. Even my dad roasts me for eating like 4 or 5 chilies in a row. You know what I mean? He's just like, okay, whatever, son. You know, you eat 4 to 5 chilies anyway, every meal, right? You crunch on it like a rabbit or whatever he says. But anyway, you know what I've realized, guys, is like the super conscious mind that we have, okay, which is basically our God mind, it picks up the bad vibes. It knows what your partner is going to say before she says it. It understands, you know, what the real meaning of the email is. You guys get that? So meditation is a way to get rid of yourself long enough to listen to the super conscious mind. That's all we're doing. We're understanding our untapped superconscious, which is then giving us answers because our ask formations work in the similar way, right? We're getting answers back from our superconscious mind when we ask, like, why are we so, you know, Why are we so good at making money in Primal Sutra? I mean, why does money flow so effortlessly into our lives? Okay. And you get answers back. Your super conscious mind, if you're really in that tapped in state, you're going to get your mind telling you certain answers. It's because of like this. And I've started honestly answering all of those as Primal Sutra in my own mind, right? So the question would be like something like, why are you so cool? Primal Sutra. Why are you such a badass? Why do you have an Indian accent? I mean, why do you have an American accent as an Indian guy, right? Primal Sutra. You know, why are you how did you get so swole in like a short period of time? Just Primal Sutra. You know, it's like everything comes back to this path working. And when that's just my super conscious mind, of course, that could be my deities joking around with me too. I get it. It's not all about our collective, but I think our collective can put it into perspective what we are really doing, right? Which is creating a next generation of trailblazers, of pioneers, of innovators of the spiritual world, right? Really people who understand the metaphysical and are able to really translate what is really going on. Okay. So we need more channelers actually now more than ever. We need more healers now more than ever. Okay. So if you concentrate all your energy into your third eye through deep stillness, through meditation, through breath work, and you imagine a certain color of your chakra that you want to work on. Let's say we want to work on the root chakra, so it's red. Now you would imagine that from the third eye, you're breathing and slowly it's filling up the top of your head. Then it's filling up, right? It's a body scan with the color that's slowly emanating out, right? So it's exuding your entire body like a perfume, like a heavy, dusky perfume, right? That takes over. And as you start to do this, I've noticed at least, I can start to notice people's auras, which is super wild. Okay. The fact that just a simple practice like this can bring you these types of results is so powerful. Okay. Because you've done it with yourself, now you can see the colors in others because you've worked with these colors in your third eye and you've permeated it out and you've worn it like a jacket and a pair of pants and shoes, right? You've worn the entire color and now you can emanate as that color. And especially, I'd get you to do this with your own color of your own dominant chakra path working. Okay. So I'm a sacral chakra path. I would use orange as the main color. I also use this for if I'm ever applying any psychic seduction. I imagine this smoky orange mist all around me, you know, just emanating into the store that I want to visit. It's like it's kind of guiding me before me, right? So I almost imagine that the smoke is like entering the store before I enter the store. So there's like a slight delay, like a time delay, like a time lag, right? Where the smoke is much faster than me, right? That's the visualization. So I'm almost having it, you know how a shadow is behind you? This is like a forward shadow that's in front of you. That you're noticing each decision or moment that you've made even before you've made it. So it's like a very, I don't know where I got this. Is probably from one of my guides, right? Most downloads are. But I think this is a very powerful technique because you can start to put yourself into various scenarios. Like imagine having sex through the color purple, you know, and just emanating purple. I wonder what that would be like, really, you know, because that would probably bring you a lot of ecstatic bliss just from guesswork, right? Because if you have an awakened woman, awakened man, you know, in that purple violet flame energy doing it, right? There's probably got to be like some kind of a heavy effect from that, right? The same thing with making money. Like when you make your money making decisions, what are the colors that you see that are emanating, right? And when you give unselfishly, when you give without an agenda, just know, and I want to say the word know because it's a knowingness that it will return to you times 10, 10x the rewards, right? So it's almost like money angels. We talked about this before. I shared it with you guys. So the idea is, let's say you make a small purchase. Okay, you buy a new pair of shoes like I did. I got some Puma shoes. Okay. And once I did, I imagine that once I buy these shoes, they're going to come back to me in more harmonious ways. The money that I'm spending on these shoes are going to come back to me times 10 somehow. Right? Because why? Because it's an advancement towards the character archetype of my sacral chakra path of the little orange and the black shoes that amplifies and makes me feel more like me, right? The purchase itself makes me feel more connected to my higher self. So make sure that you understand when you're shopping, you have this archetype in mind, right? At least have 3 archetypes in mind when you're shopping clothes for yourself. Like you can say pirates, outer space, and farmer. Okay, 3 archetypes. Now you buy like a bandana. A farmer can wear a bandana as well as a pirate. Now you have a way to blend both of those worlds. Okay. Then you go shopping and you see that, okay, this one works towards my kind of this denim style works with my farmer style. Okay. So you have to really create this thing for yourself. Like if your wealth avatar, your character, could dress up a very certain way, and you've kind of put it off, like you wanted to buy something for yourself to make your character expand greater, but you haven't. You've just procrastinated on it, or you haven't really done much into it. Now is the time to really do that, right? It's so easy to just wear whatever's lying around, right? And I get it. We're older men now, and it's like we've already bought the stuff and done the things. So it feels weird to kind of revitalize that sense of purchasing something new. But I've always had this thing within me that whenever I'm making a purchase, even though it might seem like a bizarre purchase in the time that I'm making it, it always seems to make sense later on why I made that purchase. And it really comes back to my core wound, oftentimes, right? So I noticed that once I heal my core wound and I work on healing that core wound, now it's not going to come back to me, right? Like I think Claudia, Mathis, you guys need to work on surrender, right? As the most for your core wound, whereas Ryan needs to work most on what would it be? Like feeling loved, right? Like just feeling loved, like embodying feeling loved. And for me, it would be like connection, just feeling a sense of deep connection, a flow state playfulness that connects and bridges both worlds, right? And you guys, I feel connected to because you actually try to understand my vast, complex brain times, right? And I think that that creates a sense of, right? That microcosmic orbit even greater within all of us because why? We've now activated our core energies. If that's our core wound, that means that comes into our core healing, right? Our core wound creates our core healing, our core healing strategy. So our core healing strategy would be like, you know, surrender, be loved, and connect with others. It sounds simple, right? But it's like, whoa, that's how we're going to get the money angels coming back too, right? Because it's not going to feel like it's from lack. Lao Tzu, when you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you, right? Let's read some Taoism, actually. Let's see what we're guided towards, all right? Okay, this is what's coming up. Your reputation or your physical self, which do you see as your very life? Your physical self or your capital, which is better? To pick up something along the way or to lose something, which is more inductive to pain? For these reasons, if you desire something excessively, you will invariably have great expenses. If you store many things away, you will invariably lose things by the pile. If you clearly know what is sufficient, you will not be embarrassed. If you know when to stop, you will not stand on shaky ground. Thus, you will be able to continue for a long time. Isn't this like a wealth management long-term strategy? Okay. So if you have that greed, that craving for that one thing, it's like you will invariably have a huge bill that you have to pay. However, if you store many things away, you'll also invariably lose some of those things, right? In the storage unit. But if you clearly know what is sufficient, if you know this is I'm enough, like this, I'm self-sufficient, I'm not embarrassed, I'm not humiliated, I'm not put on the spotlight anymore because I know where my worthiness lies. I know where my foundation is. I know my tech, right? Knowledge is power. And by the way, speaking of power, I have to share something with you guys. Those who love Reiki, okay? Shout out to Witchy Witchy Yogi, Witchy Queen Yogi. Okay. I forget what your name is. Serpent Sorceress, right? Shout out to Serpent Sorceress. She shared an amazing poem about Kali and how, you know, we in India we praise the woman's physique through the goddesses, but look at how we treat women like in a day to day. Like, I mean, as Indians, you know what I mean? Like our culture is so profoundly known for revering the divine feminine. But then how can something so atrocious and dark happen in a place like this? Like, really think about it, right? And so her poem, it really reflected some of those things, those missing links, like that the culture is showing, but there's some disconnect there, right? Are you just following tradition just to be traditional? But at home, like you're hating your own mother or whatever, right? Or secretly hating women, right? Sometimes us guys, we have to do the shadow work to get over that, right? Because really there's a lot of like ways that we can get stuck into these old patterns and so forth, you know? So I was going to show you guys, hold on, let me just open up the chat again. Okay. Hola, Boricua. I am implemented to imagine the customers to be glad for the job done and paying the bill with joy and ease. Yeah, it helps the receiving part. I got praised for a job good done and prior to that. So I could feel like not good enough as I do better, but that was perfectionistic shadow. Good, I became aware of this. Good. Very good. Yeah, you got to call out that perfectionistic character, Mathis. Call him something, you know, like Robot Jones or something. You guys remember that cartoon? I don't know why this is coming up. Right? Whatever happened to Robot Jones? No, but really, whatever happened to? Okay. What the? Okay. This guy, right? So now that you've given him a character, it's like now you can like talk to this perfectionistic part of you, right? And just be like, whenever he's like, it has to be like that, you're like, no, you know what? I want it to be like that. Doesn't have to be, right? And you challenge him. You challenge Robot Jones, and the next time he's like stepping out of his bounds or whatever, you kind of notice it and you calm his perfectionism through giving him what he really wants, right? What is the perfectionism really craving? What does it really want? And then you give him that, right? You give him that symbolically. That's how we work as alchemists. Okay. So anyway, guys, what I was gonna share is actually what maybe I have it open already. Yeah, I probably do. Let me open this tab and leave it out here. Bro, good idea. Yeah. All right. So this symbol, right, the upward spiral, okay, also called Chukurei, is the power symbol of Usui Reiki, right? Some of you know the Reiki symbols. I found this one very powerful as it's the power one, okay? Power level over 9,000. Yep, probably. Okay, so just like a seven chakras, boom, okay, and then it goes into an inward spiral. All right. So if you could trace this on just your hand, try it on this on your palm. Okay. You'll immediately notice a difference, right? In your palm. And if you say it 3 times and you trace it 3 times, let's try it together. Chokure. 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 Right? I use my less dominant hand, but now I could almost let's say that I did on this hand. I would then take a pen and start writing or doing something, right, with this energy. Or I could charge something with my hands, or you can just trace it on the thing that you're doing. So you trace it on the cup where you're drinking from. Okay. Whoa, this looks invisible, huh? Back here. Oh, that's dope. Right. Mm. Okay. So use this, guys. It's very easy and it reminds us of the upward spiral path working anyway. So I found it to be very useful. Okay. I've also noticed this, guys, and maybe you guys can correct me on this if you noticed it to be true or wrong. But how many of you guys have ever had cats as pets, right? Would you agree left hand receiving, right hand pushing or projecting? Mm, yeah, that's true. So it's like the right brain is giving the left power, the left brain is giving the right power, right? That's how you can think about it. So before I get into that explanation, I was going to ask your opinion on something. Notice that the barter system, right? We still use the barter system in the ADAPS program too. But notice that how the barter system, or one of the earliest forms, was like a goat or something, right? Mariqua has 3 cats. Okay. There you go. Mathis grew up with cats. There you go. Okay. Ryan G, I don't know your relationship to cats, but I do remember that when we were in Costa Rica and it was your birthday, this random cat just came up and curled up on your lap randomly. Like it was a little bit sus because that was a little too intimate. Okay. It's probably from Sirius or something. Okay. But irregardless, or Lyran being that we were both connected to or something. But cats have been coming up a lot, especially with the Egyptian path working and so forth. But I've noticed like when I'm dating or when I'm making money or just generally in life, I know we used to say we got that dog in us, right? A little while ago. We said that. But now it's almost like we got that big cat in us, right? The jaguar energy is coming up again. All of these cat energies are coming up again. Okay. And if you notice, royal people, they kind of behave like cats, right? Women also love cats because they hate everybody, bro, but they love her. Okay. So the cat energy is like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Give me like, you have to work for my attention. It's not like a dog like chasing, like, oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. And we do that a lot with money too, right? We get into the dog energy. We get into the golden retriever, like that type of energy, right? Where sometimes I'll just sit here like a cat looking out of my window without a care in the world. Okay. And that little cat energy, I feel, gets me more money sometimes than the dog energy. It's weird. It's very strange, right? But when I can maintain that cat energy, you know, you're not so try hard, right? Wow. Yeah. I got this epiphany the other day, man. And it's so powerful. Not the magnet I was expecting. Right. Pussy magnet. You have to say it. Okay. Otherwise, if you're a prude on this channel, yeah, you better get some things sorted and checked, okay? Because we're here to have fun. We're here to make it light, okay? If you can't laugh at words like PP and vagina, like you need to, yeah, you just immature, bro. Okay, just laugh at it. Just have fun. Be silly. Be goofy. Okay. Stay loosey-goosey, baby. Loosey-goosey. Okay. You got to be a bit like Austin Powers with your energy at times too. I get it. Like a little bit strange. But also it's like the cat energy, as I've noticed, that royal, like I don't give a fuck type of energy. It's such a powerful dynamic because, man, in dating, this works so well too, you know? Like if I am able to keep that cat-like energy about me, right? Like a big cat, like a tiger type energy, rather than it's very different, right? Going hunting as a wolf than as a tiger. It's totally two different energies, right? Like hunting in a wolf pack and then hunting as a tiger's, like a dojo of tigers. What do you even call that? What are a group of tigers called? Right? You got to look that up. What is a group of tigers called? An ambush, a streak, an ambush of tigers. Bro, that's such a dope word. You know, not like we're gonna ambush people, like oh, like scare them, or a streak of tigers. I like that even better. It's like a lightning, right? I think a lion is called a pride, right? Is a tiger also called a pride? No, it's called an ambush or a streak. Wow, that's epic, huh? Already, you know, as we go out as a tribe, we're like a pack of tigers, white tigers. We have that Lyran energy. We're on a streak. We're on a winning streak, right? Hey, okay, it works with our metaphor. So fantastic. Okay, we've already discovered that. Now, what's my phone at? Oh, right here. I think I just summoned it. So think of money, right? Like everything is nurturing, like money is nurturing everything in its path. Okay. Similar to water. Water, it flows through the crevices and cracks of the most places that it seems like, oh, water is going to be able to flow through that tiny, like narrow hole or whatever. No, it is. It actually is. You know what? I'm going to find a way. And that's the energy of money and abundance. Think of money as a dynamic energy, not like some money sitting in the bank, static. Think of money as like whizzing through the air, like the economy, right? Ones and zeros, bumping up numbers, and like the stock market, rising and falling, right? Think of it like a dynamic energy. This is where you can start investing too, slowly as we move forward further. We're going to have to start feeling into the state of us investing and feeling joyful, relieved, powerful because we got some money back, right? Or we're finally able to crack this like gambling code or whatever and find a way to, you know, create more chance or more probability through maybe some of the deities we work with. Okay. So things like this, I often find is very exciting. And each financial decision, if you just think of it like it's just the sails of your boat, right? Just slowly shifting. Okay. By the way, I don't know why I wore King Solomon's ring today, okay, for all angels, but yeah, it seems very healing for me right now to wear this. So I'm going to continue. See money as an abundant, free-floating entity, you know? Think of the Chinese, man. Why do they start the Chinese Olympics in 888, right? They know the numerology stuff. They understand something that we don't. Why do they pray to so many fortune gods? Why is their entire thing draconian and dragon related? Why is you know, and again, this is nothing to do against or for China. I'm just pointing out some facts for you guys. They pray to fortune gods, right? They pray to gods of richness, of wealth, of fortune. The whole Chinese New Year's, I mean, the whole thing that brings red. Red is like a color that you wear in your enemy year to bypass the negativity, right? So it's good luck to wear red. And red is the power of like life force, passion, you know, that energy. So of course, China's going to have a hustling, bustling kind of empire going for it because it's using all the right frameworks and metrics, right? The root chakra energy, the rootedness. Oh yeah, it's there, right? You can probably safely say that in certain provinces, the people are taken care of, right? They're rooted, they're very in their root. However, they might also feel trapped and that's blocking the root chakra, right? They might feel that almost like how you're not even allowed to know what you only have a specific amount of channels that you watch, like if you're in North Korea or something, like you can't watch anything beyond that, or all these other, random rules. Like certain places, they have these random rules, and we have to understand it, right? Cats are masters of energy reading. They know something is up. Yeah. Yep. They're always tuning in. They're always tapping in, you know, constantly just observing it, the environment and like watching. It's very introverted energy, right? It's like the difference between the power of introversion, which is the cat, and the power of extroversion, which is the dog. Sometimes you do need a little bit of that dog energy, Chihuahuas. Shout out to the Koreas as well. Yeah, absolutely. K-pop is taking over the world, so we got to give shout out. Just don't be a K-pop stan, okay? Don't treat them like deities, okay? That's all we ask in this path working. It's cool if you like K-pop or, Korea. Korea is an amazing place. I think we have to go once for our path working. Feng Shui is interesting. A friend of mine learned from a Chinese business owner in Shenzhen 7 years ago. Whoa, nice. My little bro is now working with him. I met the guy in 2019. Some weird energies, very Draco. Very Draco indeed. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. They do have that energy. It's the royal bloodlines of even the Chinese, like they always have the emperors represent the dragons, right? So it's like their royalty is technically connected to that lineage. I think they do a dragon ritual every time that the emperor um is like connected to the royal throne or whatever. But yeah, anyway, I don't know too much about this, so I don't want to speak about some topic I have no idea about. But yeah, feng shui is an interesting one as well. Um, Definitely it's perked my interest. We got, of course, some advice from Kubera, whom we channeled, and it was amazing. Okay, so if you missed it, it was a very powerful transmission. And yeah, just make sure you can catch it. Or I don't know if we can have it for purchase for people just who want the specific recordings. I guess we could figure out a price for that too, Ryan G, for people who just want one specific recording from our database. But yeah, completely different thinking. They repel you when you don't match. Yeah. You'll also notice that you have to keep a feminine energy around cats and a masculine energy around dogs. Like if you don't keep a kind of an authority around dogs, they're just going to run free and amok, right? They're going to bark at you, or they'll notice your fear. Like if they notice your fear energy, they'll kind of latch onto that too, right? But I've noticed at least this energy is almost like a very laid back, um, sort of, you know, it's like I'm not interested, I'm not inspired, by what's going on. It's like, yeah, you give me a ball of yarn, now I'm like, okay, now it's ready to go. It's go time, baby, right? And the thing about the cat thread theory and social dynamics is if you slowly pull it back, slowly pull it back, slowly pull it back, it's going to happen. If you just pull it back all at once, the cat is going to already know and go for it, right? So it's like a slow maneuver. It's like a Kaizen process that we have to understand when we're doing this cat string theory, okay? So let's look up the actual definition. Bonduran theory. Dang. Nope, this is not it. Okay. What in the world is cat string theory and how does it relate to sales? Let's figure this out. cat string. Picture a cat with a string dangling over its head. As long as you keep the string out of the reach of the cat, it will remain interested. Okay? Battling and trying to get the string away from you. The moment you let the cat have the string, it's no longer interested in it. It's like, I'm bored. On to the next thing. So the same thing with your sales prospect, right? Use the same push-pull dynamic for that. So, if you're like, I'm pretty sure you can't afford me, they'll be like, wait, let's talk about this. Okay, I can find a way. I can find a payment plan. Okay, so you have to engage in relentless experimentation. Okay, engage in relentless experimentation. Agreed on the video database thing, but do we want to vet them first? Yeah, I think so, Ryan G. We have to see if it's okay past the family and so forth, and whether they are worthy of that recording. Because I've always tested before I've sent it to anybody, any of our recordings. I've always tested with our, let's just say, council, okay, or council of deities we work with, or spirit guides we work with. Okay, so I noted back then about gold, silver, and precious diamonds arranged rightly in the wealth center so that it brings in wealth. Man, I think it's so bizarre how humans are so obsessed with wealth, right? Like back in the day, gold, right? Like back in the day, there was no such thing as like a gold rush or anything like that. But the more you start to really understand it, and shout out Billy Carson for this, the understandings of like probably the Anunnaki or these giant beings, these people who are these energies that are affecting humanity and its civilization and so forth. And there's so much, information on that. They wanted humans to be gold mining species. They specifically wanted us to be obsessed with gold. And I really think about that, right? And I notice how the word gold is aurum as well. A-U-R-U-M is the symbol, A-U, right? So it's like Aum, right? Like Aum, like Om. So it's almost like birth and creation, not the which is the death, right? So the Au, A-U, is like the first part of Om, A-U-M, right? It's just A-U is gold. The right, either alchemizes the gold or makes it into I don't know, you can come up with your own metaphor for that. But this is what I'm giving you as an understanding here, okay? Is that we were made to be gold mining creatures. These Anunnaki made us for that specifically. So what if we could hack our brains, right, to get a very deep connectedness to it? I get a strong sense of researching that. Yeah, man, go for anything that that's Thoth, right? Like that energy is definitely Thoth. It's just like look it up, find the right cues, do the right thing, wake up, right? That's his energy. Um, reptilians, Dracos love gold. Yeah. Even Cypher was like, man, you need to at least a few gram of pure gold or even monoatomic gold to boost brain power. Yeah. Yeah, monoatomic gold as well, man. That's a really good one. I think gold is a very complex one. And I think if we can figure out what was the huge like spike of gold, it could probably give us some clues as to how to get it or how to work with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to our own psychic skills. I mean, let's say you're more clairaudient, you would listen to certain songs that would make you feel abundant, right? You would create an abundance playlist. You see that? For somebody who is more visual, you create a vision board for yourself. Okay, so this is the way that you can amplify this. So we're born to be gold diggers. Cue the gold digger theme song. Hey, tag my mom on nothing on a hook, bro. Right? Okay. Get down, girl. Go ahead, get down. Okay. Yeah. She take my money. You know what? We are. We're born to be gold diggers, okay? Gold miners. It's no wonder we have an obsession with wealth, right? And gold and shiny things. It's very interesting. At least it's an interesting theory, okay? Let's not get too caught up in it. But yeah, guys, this was an excellent live. If you have any other questions, I know something big is emerging, right? Something epic is about to happen, and we are at the pinnacle of it right now. We're just at the edge, slowly emerging with the full moon, with the 22nd, another portal jump. Ooh, there's so much coming up, man. It's gonna be absolutely out of this world, and we're expecting more and more of these old systems to crash and new ones to emerge. So stay freestyling as a shaman, okay? Stay on your toes. Go from one thing to the next. Work on going on to the next thing, okay? When you feel that there is something pulling you back, notice it, observe it, okay? There might be something there that's coming to the surface, that's bubbling up right now, okay? Good. It's also about conductors, as precious metals are needed for it. That's powerful, Mathis. Be a good conductor for wealth, right? Because your superconscious mind is the sender and receiver of this thing, right? It's kind of focusing on the subtleness of out of body and, beyond. It's like the spiritual centers, right? So, yeah, that's really important, I think. Cyborg tools, brain chips, yep. Our interactions with technology too, and the electricity conductor ness. It's wild how our brains have a more electromagnetic signature than our hearts have a more electromagnetic signature than our brains, right? I find that wild. Even though a lot of our energy is around our brains. Why did they used to draw auras and halos around like people back in the day? Did a deep heck dive yesterday, but today balancing with nature. Nice. One thing I've always wondered about Mathis, and maybe you could speak on this, is the idea of e-waste. E-waste is such a problematic thing, right? Because it leads so many bad poisonous gases and things like this. So knowing how to use old laptops, old technologies, old materials, and doing something with it, practical, right? Um, Even something like jewelry or something might just be a great idea. And I'm just pulling that out of the quantum soup, obviously. But I think that there's something to be done about e-waste. I remember I focused on that topic in my digital some random class, bro, in college, computing ecology or something randomly. We had to learn how to code for that class, bro. It was so frustrating, right? Coding is so frustrating. You get one thing wrong and it crashes the whole thing. That's why you got to be so wired in, right? And yeah, I came up with an e-waste rap, I remember. Okay. And in China, it's really bad. Like there's a lot of junk from our laptops, old left, receptacles of mechanics left behind and like just random objects that are just like half broken, half wires coming out. It's like, what do you do with that? Like, you're going to melt that down? It's going to cause some fumes or spark or some chemical reactions, right? So you have to think wiser about the e-waste, I think. But yeah, it's an interesting topic too. But yeah, think about it. I mean, these are all ideas, right? Psychic powers for abundance. Again, some people say that if you have a spiritual city strong enough, you could even see the minerals under the ground. You can see where there's gold being buried, right? I had a PowerPoint about school years ago about the e-trash in African countries in Ghana. Yeah, and how little children work for extracting the metals and are poisoned by it. Yep. Same for the big cities in 5G. Yeah, that's a huge topic, man. Big things. Good. Awesome. Just putting it out into the cosmos, right? The collective soup. Good. Let's get it today. Upward spiral gang, may we never be the same again. Eureka! I did it. Did it. Get out of my laboratory. Okay, let's get it. Upward spiral gang, gang, gang. You already know we're here to win.